Hello, advocates. My name is Jennifer Keaton, and I'm Vice President of Congressional Affairs at the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. In this presentation, I will talk about opportunities to advocate on behalf of environmental literacy programs at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, as well as legislation to support wildlife conservation. NOAA's work covers everything from forecasting the weather to fisheries management to ocean issues to climate change. Within NOAA is an Office of Education that oversees its Environmental Literacy Grants Program and the Bay Watershed Education and Training, or BWET program. The ELG program is the longest standing and most comprehensive national grant program focused on environmental literacy. In recent years, it has focused on building resilience for extreme weather, climate change, and other environmental hazards. The BWET program funds local programs for K-12 students and educators that focus on local environmental issues. In FY 2021, Congress provided $5.25 million for the ELG program and $7.75 million for the BWET program. And here are just two examples of projects funded in recent years that included museums. More information about these projects and others can be found at the links below. So what are the messages we want to share with congressional offices? We want them to know that lifelong access to quality STEM education and environmental literacy opportunities are essential. We want them to know that our museums play a critical role in STEM learning through the education programming that we offer. For example, AZA member facilities annually welcome 50 million children visiting with their families and 12 million student learners on field trips. And our members have trained 400,000 teachers in informal science education methods over the last decade. And we want congressional offices to know that we are critical partners with the federal government to promote STEM learning and scientific research. And what is the ask? We want congressional offices to support federal agencies and their STEM programs, to fully fund those programs and ensure that museums are eligible participants in STEM programs. Specifically for the NOAA, ELG, and BWET programs, you can let them know that there very likely will be sign-on support letters circulating in the coming weeks. And we want to ensure that funding is keeping up with inflation. So you might get some questions from staff or the members with whom you're meeting. They may ask how much these programs received last year and previous years. You can refer to the chart in your materials, or you can say you can get back to them with that information. They may ask if these programs are that important. You can talk about how they help to foster the next generation of mathematicians, scientists, and engineers to help the United States stay competitive globally. They may ask about private sector programs. You can talk about that the federal government is a vital partner to universities, nonprofit organizations, and other stakeholders like museums for their STEM initiatives, and that the support from Congress sends a strong message that STEM public engagement and education are top priorities. And they may ask if any organizations in their district or state have received funds. And again, you can promise them that you will pass that question along and somebody will get back to them with that information. So for the NOAA programs, they are funded by the subcommittees on Commerce, Justice, and Science in both the House and the Senate. And on the screen, you'll see the members of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on CJS. So if you are meeting with any of these offices, they will have a direct role in determining the funding for NOAA programs in the coming fiscal year. Similarly, in the Senate Subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, Science, they also will make those decisions in their subcommittee. So again, if you are meeting with any of these senators, they are essential in making those determinations. But if you're not meeting with the senators or representatives, and you're meeting with somebody who's not on the subcommittee, those members can still get in touch with the subcommittee members to express their support for these programs. And that support will go a long way in helping them make their decisions. So before we conclude, I want to discuss the Save Vanishing Species semi-postal stamp. This stamp was first created in 2011. Because it is a semi-postal stamp, it is sold at a higher rate than first-class stamps. The difference in that rate benefits the multinational species conservation funds at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Those funds support private-public partnerships to protect a number of iconic species, including African and Asian elephants, great apes, marine turtles, and others. Since 2011, more than 58 million stamps have been purchased, with more than $6.5 million going to conservation projects on top of the annual appropriations that these programs receive. More information about the stamp and these projects can be found at the links below. We're asking House offices to co-sponsor HR 6023, introduced by Representatives Costa and Katko, and Senate offices to co-sponsor S521, introduced by Senators Portman and Carper. The bill would ensure that the stamps remain available for sale until they're sold out. This is bipartisan legislation and a great way for the public to directly benefit wildlife conservation. I wish all of you luck with your meetings, and I sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and for your advocacy.